Today's segment of Oh Brother is sponsored by Organic Harvest Market and Nutrition Center, Birmingham's largest family-owned natural foods market. Visit them on the web at www.orgharvest.com.
All my brothers are so southern, they'll get up for you for nothing. Take this brother of no.
Welcome into Brother. I'm Will Lochamy, along with Reed Lochamy. Reed, it's the beginning of a new week. You addicted to anything?
You know, I am addicted, I have to admit, to the show Intervention.
We've discussed
which
this.
which I love. I don't know if I should say I'm addicted to it. I mean, I think I could stop watching it anytime I wanted to.
Then stop.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to right now. I mean, it's not.
Would you say it's taking up some of your time that you could be spending with your family?
I suppose. you could
Reed,
make
just
an argument.
cut it out.
I think okay. Well, you may have a point. You may have a point.
When you think of addictions, you think of cigarettes and drugs and alcohol, maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of times people don't think of what we're going to talk about today, which is sex addicts.
Sex addicts. Yeah. Now that's not to be confused with a sex addict, like which would be an attic where people go to have sex. This is sex addicts.
Addicts.
Yeah. Now there's some. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. This has been in the news lately. Will, do you know who Steve Phillips is?
Well, I kind of did, and now I surely do, because he's been all over the news.
I did not know who he was, because I think that he primarily talked on ESPN about baseball.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
of course,
that's when you
baseball is
switch it,
so
yeah.
boring. If you had to think and talk about baseball all the time, why wouldn't you become a sex addict? Because
Right.
you have to have something to do other than think and or talk about baseball, the most stupid and boring thing ever. But Steve Phillips, of course, is an ESPN, or was an ESPN analyst, who, of course, has been caught up in this sex scandal.
So scandalous.
Yeah.
Have you seen the girl?
I did hear Lance recently on a radio show that we listened to say that basically what Steve Phillips had done he had gone to the Shire and nailed a hobbit.
Did you not? Have you not seen her?
Yeah, I saw the
you
picture.
saw her. Yeah.
Poor girl. There are a couple of pictures over there, just a real unflattering pictures. Now
I haven't seen one that is flattering. Have you?
No, but I've
No.
seen one or two where I've been like, oh, I could sort of see, but then you see these other ones and you're just like, oh, no.
Look, there's never a good time to cheat on your wife and ruin your family.
No.
Never, ever, for any reason, ever.
No, definitely not on Valentine's Day, just like I remember Elliot Spitzer.
But if he's going to, if Steve Phillips
Yeah.
were going to, he could have
This
shot a little bit higher.
Could have. Now, this is what makes me think maybe this man is a sex addict, because it's about the only thing that would explain why in the world he's having sex
Right.
with this girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And now he's been checked into treatment, right, for his sex
Well, now
addiction?
this is the thing, Will. A listener actually sent us an email at ohbrotherradio@gmail.com and said, hey, did you know Steve Phillips is, now is in treatment? And of course I didn't, because I'm not keeping up with this story, because I hate baseball. It's just stupid. But the thing is, apparently, yeah, it looks like now he has entered a treatment facility for sex addiction, which apparently is a real thing, although there is some controversy. Some sexologists, and boy, did I ever miss the boat with my career
No
choice. I
kidding.
should have become sexologists. Some sexologists apparently, there's a question as to the validity of whether or not sex addiction, so to speak, really exists. But yeah, he's entered a treatment facility.
Okay, I'm looking here at my phone, and it's going through some other celebrity sex addicts.
I'll guess. I bet you I can guess the first one to come up.
Well, of course.
Duchovny.
Yeah, he's all over it.
Yeah.
You put in sex addict, and his picture comes up everywhere.
And
but
apparently
also
he's in
here
a-
are a couple
yeah.
you didn't think of.
Okay.
Mel B from the Spice Girls. She's the black one.
Scary Spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure enough. Britney Spears, it says here.
What?
I don't know. I'm just
Where are
telling
you getting this?
entertainmentwise.com.
Oh, well, there you go. These people are sex addicts, huh?
Jack Nicholson.
Really?
Yep.
Not to be confused with Jack Nicklaus, the golfer.
No, he's a golf addict.
Now, Michael Douglas, I've seen his name.
Michael Douglas
Yeah,
just came up here.
now apparently
Bill
he-
Clinton, who knew?
Well, yeah, there's a no-brainer. Apparently, Michael Douglas, Catherine Zeta-Jones, I read somewhere earlier today doing a little research for this segment, has some sort of, I guess, a prenup, and there's some clause in their prenup that says, like, if he cheats on her, it costs him a certain amount of money every time. Michael
Really?
Douglas, yeah.
I wonder if that's happened yet.
I
wonder
don't
if he's had
know.
to pay up.
Not that I saw when I was doing some of that little research, but
Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen, that makes sense.
Seems like I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the question, Will, though. Are these people actually sex addicts, or are these just people who...
Well, this is actually giving here, like, where it came from,
Yeah.
that it,
How do you define sex addict? Really, if people aren't interested in having lots of sex, then really what you've got is a species, sort of a problem where you're not I mean, really, shouldn't we all sort of be sex addicts a little bit?
Yeah, but I think the difference with an addict, I think it's all they can think about and it's all they can do,
Remember you used to hear those stats about that men think about sex every 7 seconds?
Yeah, that's
right?
not true, right?
Surely that's not true. I don't think that's true.
How long has it been now?
Well, now I've been thinking about it a lot in the last couple of minutes because we've been talking about sexual addiction.
Amy Winehouse.
Well, she's an everything addict. Is there anything that she's not addicted to?
She goes overboard on most things.
Well, here's a question. Do you think that you are a sex addict?
No.
Well, I've got some questions here to ask you.
Ooh,
yeah, now
okay.
I found this. This is a little article I found called Symptoms of Sexual Addiction by Michael Herkov, PhD. It's a PhD.
PhD,
doctor.
okay. Then I can trust him.
Yeah.
All right.
Says here, while there is no official diagnosis for sex addiction, clinicians and researchers have attempted to define the disorder using criteria based on chemical dependency literature, and they include the following questions, right? So I'm going to ask you.
Fire away.
Listeners can listen and see if they may.
Should I put my pants on for this
maybe
quiz?
You should.
Okay.
It's getting a little awkward in here. All right. Question number 1. Are you frequently engaging in more sex and with more partners than intended? That's a question. Now, here's the weird thing about this question. More partners than...
All right, let's just go ahead and say, going into this quiz, I have a newborn at the house.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so you're probably not. You're not, at least not a very successful sex addict, probably.
It's easy
Listen to
say.
this question when it says, are you engaging in more sex and with more partners than intended? What does that mean? Like you
accidentally...
Like you intended to have sex with that person, but you wound up accidentally having sex with 5 people at the same time. That's what that sounds like.
Okay, no, I can answer no to that.
No.
Right.
Next question, it says, do you find yourself being preoccupied with or persistently craving sex, wanting to cut down and unsuccessfully attempting to limit sexual activity? Who are these people?
Wait, say that last part again?
It says here, are you
Because at first I was thinking, well, yes, I'm a man.
But it says
then
here,
what?
do you find yourself wanting to cut down and unsuccessfully attempting to limit sexual activity? Who are these people that are finding themselves like, oh, man, I'm having too much sex. I want to cut down on this, but I just
I'm trying
can't
to figure
do
out
it.
what the problem is with these people. I'm not seeing it.
That's crazy. Next one, do you find yourself thinking of sex to the detriment of other activities or continually engaging in excessive sexual practices despite a desire to stop? These are problems I've never had. I've never had these problems. Do you find yourself spending considerable time in activities related to sex, such as cruising for partners or spending hours online visiting pornographic websites?
Whoa.
People,
No
pay
and
attention,
no.
because if you're answering yes to these questions, you may be a sex addict. It says here, next, do you find yourself neglecting obligations such as work, school, or family in pursuit of sex? You got a problem if you are missing work to sit around, for example, and cruise the internet. That's
Right.
a problem.
That's a problem, for sure.
Do you find yourself continually engaging in the sexual behavior despite negative consequences such as broken relationships or potential health risks? Boy,
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that is a lot of people. Then finally it says escalating scope.